Back in my day, there were precisely 0 good Star Wars battle games, and now today there are 2. So I will be going over which I think is the best in a series of categories, so you can have an idea of which one you want to sink all of your time into. Because this is very opinion based, I'm going to throw up Saber Showdown gameplay here on the left and Saber Force gameplay here on the right, so you can form your own judgment as well as we go along. Anyway, let's begin. I think we can all agree that gameplay is probably the most important factor of a game. Obviously both of these games have the same premise, that being run around a map and scrap people up, but they both do it quite differently. Saber Showdown uses a stamina system. Your attacks, your blocks, your health is all run through a stamina bar. When it's empty, you die. In Saber Force, you have a stamina system but also a separate health bar. This means you don't die the first time you get hit, which removes a bit of the luck aspect of 1v1s and duels. Both of the games have force abilities. I believe Saber Force has more and they're a bit more polished, but I'm not too sure about that one. Saber Showdown has training servers though, where you can practice and train obviously, but Saber Force does not have those, and Saber Showdown has more kill classes like back hits, stamina kills and body shots, whereas in Saber Force if you're dead, you're dead. That's all there is to it. Now here is probably the biggest thing that will make or break it in terms of which one you will be playing. Saber Force is pretty damn difficult to run, which means if you're on mobile or a low-end PC, you're likely not going to have the frames to be able to really compete in the game. If you are on any sort of decent PC, disregard this point entirely because you will be fine, but for those of you who aren't, there isn't really a question as to which you should play because only one of them will work, that being Saber Showdown. Now the devs are very active for Saber Force, there's going to be more on that later, but I know for a fact that they are working on improving the performance, so it's possible that by the time you're watching this, these issues have been sorted, but at the time of recording, Saber Showdown is the clear winner in terms of gameplay. Okay, this next category is graphics and graphical realism. Saber Force is the clear winner in this category, there's not even a question about it. Saber Showdown is very Robloxy, let's say that. The maps, you know, they're good, but they're made up of basic shapes and the animations are basic, the camera layouts and models, they're basic. Saber Force, on the other hand, is a lot more realistic. The maps are a mix of basic shapes but also realistic terrain. It has a lot more detail with the burn lines when you miss a swing, sparks, and most importantly, when you die, your limbs get chopped off. That's quality. Who doesn't love being chopped into little pieces? The camera animations also provide a level of depth to Saber Force that Showdown doesn't really have. When you're dueling, there are subtle zooms and shakes and stuff like that makes you feel a lot more immersed in the fight. It also makes it feel like you're actually swinging lightsabers because, you know, while I personally have never fought anybody with a real lightsaber, I'd imagine it's a reasonably big job. In Saber Showdown, it makes it feel like you're just sort of tapping some twigs together until one person randomly drops dead, whereas Saber Force, it captures the weight of it a bit more, I feel. It's hard to describe, so hopefully you can see what I mean from the gameplay that's on your screen. Alrighty, we are approximately halfway through the video, which means most people have probably given up watching. As you are still here, I must assume that you are enjoying the video, so I take this opportunity to ask you to maybe consider liking and subscribing. It helps me out a ton if you would want to, but if you don't, I guess that's also okay. Anyway, back on with the video. Next category we have is the community side of the game. This category also has a clear winner, and that winner is Saber Showdown. It may be because Saber Force is only a new game, I'm not sure what the future updates will be for that, but as far as I'm aware, there are not sort of public clans you can make and join. Obviously, these are in Saber Showdown. I don't want to brag, but I currently have the 40th biggest clan in the game. That's growing every day, but aside from me being awesome, anybody can make a clan with their mates or join somebody else's clan. In that they can raid servers or train together all in private lobbies, which adds a lot more personality to the game in my opinion, because it feels like it's easier to meet other players and retain contacts within the game rather than just sort of adding them on Roblox and joining their server. Again, I'm not really sure if I'm putting this into words properly, but essentially what I'm saying is if you have friends, which I do not by the way, it's much easier to have these personal interactions with them in Saber Showdown than it is in Saber Force. Here's one that we touched on before, but I'm going to go into it in a bit more depth now. The developers of a game are very important. They're the ones who decide what the updates are, they respond to audience feedback, and ultimately choose how the game is going to progress, if you like. The Saber Showdown devs are useless. The Saber Force devs are epic. There's no sugarcoating that. Saber Showdown updates twice a year if you're lucky, and Saber Force is currently updating, unironically, about twice a week. I'm not even joking. From me starting to write the script for this video that you're watching now, and this video being released, Saber Showdown has added nothing, and Saber Force has added 1 new Saber, 4 new abilities, leaderboards, daily rewards, numerous balancing changes, performance fixes, 2 new Saber cosmetics, an AFK world, and like 10 bug fixes. I'm actually not joking about that. Here's the Discord screenshots, the announcements, so you can see for yourself. This is realistically not going to happen every week, but I think you get the idea. It's a new game and they're actually putting effort into it. Also, the Saber Force devs seem like really nice people. They interact with their community, they're active on their own game in their Discord, and most importantly, they give me free things. I tried to contact the developer of Saber Showdown for a video once, just to ask a few questions. I've currently waited about 6 months and as of right now, still have not heard back, so this one ain't really close. Okay, this is going to be the last category for this video, and by customization I mean sort of fighting styles and Saber customization and stuff like that. This one's a pretty close call between the two games. Showdown is, as far as I can tell, more customizable in terms of forms and styles. Not only do their sabers have different stats, but you can also choose which form you want to fight with. While I don't really understand that personally, Star Wars nerds have informed me that they are pretty lore accurate, meaning the forms that you see in the game are forms also in the movies. Saber Force has different stats for sabers, but I don't think they are as accurate. However, when it comes to cosmetic customization, Saber Force is the winner. They have so many saber cosmetics and colours that you can make your saber a lot more personal, which I think is a big thing in Star Wars as well, so I guess this one just depends how much of a nerd you are. Okay, now time for the final judgment, and personally, I think it depends on what you want to prioritise. Now wait, because I may explain more about that. If you're on anything other than a PC, go for Saber Showdown, because until the performance is fixed, it's going to be a problem for a fair few of you. Now, assuming that you are on a decent PC, you have a bit more choice. If you want a more photorealistic graphical experience, Saber Force is the winner. Whereas if you want to maybe customise your fighting to some more lore accurate stuff, I'd go for Saber Showdown. Having said all of that, I suggest trying both games and forming your own judgments, because all of this was, at the end of the day, my opinion, so you should go and form your own. But I think that is all the input you need from an idiot like me. If you want to watch a funny video where I get very angry at some random Roblox things, watching this video will definitely entertain you. But that is all from me today. As always, it's bon voyage, my old cream crackers.